Hi folks, Mr. Woodward here at Knoll Academy. We just thought we'd keep you updated and give you a daily section of work to be getting on with during these curious times. We're going to continue with our work on Shakespeare, the unit of work that we were doing whilst you were in school, and our next topic is the role of Elizabethan women. Now the first thing that you need to do straight away is to access the links that we've provided on Show My Homework. So watch all of the clips that are there. They're all very important. If you want to, you can have your pen and a notepad next to you whilst you're doing that. Make some bullet point notes, make a list of all the key information. Okay? Now, pay particular attention to the link which focuses on how to win at being a Tudor woman. So this provides a variety of different information about the social conventions that were expected of Tudor women at the time that Shakespeare was writing. Now, as you're watching that, make a bullet point list of some of those expectations in your book, because we're going to refer to them a little bit later on a piece of paper and a pad. We'll refer to them a little bit later during this work that we're doing today. Okay, after you've done that, watch the summary of Much Ado About Nothing. And you know during this unit we've looked at loads of different Shakespearean texts, and we're transitioning now to take a look at Much Ado. As you're watching it, create a timeline on a piece of paper or on a Word document about the key events that happen in the play, so that you can understand the play as a whole, even though we're only going to be looking at it in extract. Okay, after you've watched all those videos, you might want to pause this now and come back to it a little bit later. You need to access the link which contains a text of Much Ado About Nothing. Now this is from a website called No Fear Shakespeare, and it's a great website and I use it all the time. So on the left side of the screen you'll find the original Shakespeare text, and on the right side of the screen you'll find a modern translation. So if you're struggling accessing the original Shakespeare, I know there are some challenging words there and you might struggle with that. You might find it easier to have a look at the modern translation as well, but push yourself to try and understand the original Shakespeare. Give it a read through. It won't be so easy to understand, as I said, because it's coming from within the play itself. So there are other things that have happened before and other things that will happen after, which can make it quite challenging to read just as an extract on its own. But having watched the summary on YouTube, you should have some idea about the events of the play. Now, give that a read, and on a piece of paper or on a Word document, a publisher document or a PowerPoint, what I'd like you to do is create this table. Okay? And on the left side, I'd like to write Benedict, and on the right side, I'd like you to write Beatrice. Now, these are two of the main characters in Much Ado About Nothing, and they've got a very antagonistic relationship with each other. At the start of the play, they don't really seem to like each other and are constantly battling, dueling with words, and by the end of the play, they end up falling in love and being companions. As you read this extract, what I'd really like you to do is create a list, one for each character, of the insults that they say to each other. So create a list of those insults. I mean, by way of example, I'm just starting now on the extract that I've given you. And Benedict says to Beatrice, "If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all of Messina, as like him as she is." And Beatrice responds, "I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you." Now what she's saying there is, I don't quite understand why you're even bothering to talk, because nobody's listening. Now this is really characteristic of their relationship, because they're continually insulting each other. So we've got a nice insult there from Beatrice, and I think we'll write that up on the Beatrice side of our table. So, I wonder that you will still be talking. Let's put that one in there and make sure that we put in quotation marks around it, because we're directly referencing the text. So, I wonder why you still be talking. I wonder that you still be talking. And it's nice, although we've got the original Shakespeare, to make a little note or an explanation about what that quotation means, just summarising it in modern English. So there, Beatrice is basically saying, I don't know why you're still talking. So, she is questioning why Benedict is talking, as no one is listening to him, or she believes no one is. In other words, she's having a little jest with him. She's poking fun at the fact that she thinks the things he says are not worth listening to. Okay, go through that extract up until the page that I've said. It starts on Act 1, Scene 1, page 6, and I'll write this in the notes on Show My Homework. And it ends on Act 1, Scene 1, page 7 on there. And remember to use the modern Shakespeare as well. And when you've done that and you've got a table that's completed, this is what I'd like you to do. Answer the 2 questions that I'm going to be posting on Show My Homework. So, who would you cast if you were directing a modern version of Much Ado About Nothing with a modern cast? Who would you put in the role of Beatrice, and why you would do it? So maybe it's a modern actor or a celebrity or somebody famous, maybe even a YouTuber or an influencer that you know. And also, how would an audience have reacted to Beatrice? So, taking into consideration their social expectations of women, how would they feel towards her? An audience in Shakespeare's time and an audience now. More updates coming soon, folks. Thank you very much.